Okay, so for this problem, you're really being tested on if you can write quadratic equations from a graph. So we spent 2 or 3 days on this a couple weeks ago. If you look back in your notes, you can find it. But let me do a quick refresher for you. So there are 3 forms. We can do x-intercept form, we can do vertex form, and then the final one is called standard form. And I'll start with x-intercept because I think it's the easiest one. So to find your x-intercept form, you need to first of all identify your x-intercept. So I need you to go ahead and actually highlight it in there. So our x-intercepts are over here at x equals -1 and at x equals 3. Now remember, x-intercept form simply says you're going to put y equals, and then if my answer was -1, if that's my root, if that's my 0, if that's my x-intercept, then my factor would have said x plus 1. And for this one, my factor would have said x minus 3. Do you know why? Oh yeah, because if I had set this equals 0 to solve, I would flip the inside. So that's why I'm flipping the signs. Notice, I flipped the signs. And then you need to check in the last step, if this is facing up, then there needs to be a positive out in front. If it's facing down, put a negative out in front. So since it's facing up, I can just leave it like this, because if there's nothing out there, it means that there's a positive. Okay, so that's done. Easy peasy. Now let's do vertex form. So for vertex form, we have an inside guy squared and we have an outside guy. So what goes inside? Well, you need to actually find your vertex first, just like here we found our x-intercepts. So let's highlight our vertex, okay? It's here at +1, -4. Well, how would I have gotten that 1 for my x value? Think back, don't we always flip the inside number? So that should be x minus 1. Then how would I get this -4 for my y value? Oh yeah, we keep the outside guy. See if you remember that. And then in the last step, you just have to determine whether it's plus or minus out here. Since it's facing up, I'm going to leave it as positive. So I'm done. These are the easiest ones. Now standard form is the one that looks like this. There's no way to look at this graph, and there's just no way to look at the graph and come up with standard form. You have to get standard form by expanding either your vertex or x-intercept forms. In fact, if you're doing it right, if you expand both, you should get the same thing. So I'm going to show both of them. So here's what I mean by expand. For this one, I'm going to FOIL. If I'm using vertex form, I'm going to do order of operations. So let's start with FOILing. I'll get x squared minus 3x plus 1x and then minus 3. That's x squared minus 2x minus 3. And that's standard form. ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's try vertex form here. So we're going to do kind of like order of operations. So we're going to do our parentheses first. Since x minus 1 doesn't simplify, next job is to do exponents. So I have to square x minus 1. That means multiply by itself. So we're going to FOIL this. That's x squared minus 1x plus 1. And then don't forget the minus 4 at the end. And now we just combine like terms, add and subtract from left to right. So it's x squared minus 2x. And then minus or plus 1 minus 4 is actually minus 3. And notice, I know for a fact that I did this correctly because I got these to match. And so this would be the answer for standard form. Let me give you another graph, see if you can do the same thing. So use the same process. Okay, pause the video and try it out. This, by the way, is 1, 2, okay, this is 1. So you never ever want to start with standard form. You have to find the other guys first. So let's start with vertex. Okay, our vertex here, you have to actually label it, is 1, 1. So that means vertex form is going to be flip this to get the inside guy and keep that to get your outside guy. Now since it's facing down, I need a negative out in front. Done. All right, let's find x-intercept form. So just like how we found our vertex for vertex form, now we're going to find our x-intercepts. So we have x-intercepts at x equals 0 and at x equals 2. So I got y equals x, now flip, minus 0, plus 0. I don't know. It doesn't really matter when it's 0, because in the next step, you're just going to rewrite it as x, okay? And then to get the factor, I would have to flip the 2, so I get x minus 2. So I'm rewriting this as x, parentheses, x minus 2, and that would be my actual intercept form. Now let's find standard form. So it's up to you. You can do either vertex or x-intercept, expand whichever one you like. X-intercept form looks way easier because I just have to distribute the x. So I got x squared minus 2x. And that would be standard form. I want you to try expanding this one and make sure you get the same thing. All right, hope that was helpful. Oh, I forgot something. Yeah, I forgot to put the negative out in front here. Yep. So that's the real answer because it's got to be facing down. And so when I distribute negative x, I get negative x squared. And when I distribute there, I get negative x times negative 2, which is plus 2x. Whew, that was a close one. So I need you to, expand this and make sure you get the right answer.